So we're going to be doing some groundwork to kind of explain to him what it is we are going to be wanting from him. And I've already done some of the initial groundwork, some of the essential ground maneuvers with him to warm him up. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be teaching him how to have his toes follow wherever his nose goes. And what I mean by that is when I pick up on that nose, I want this inside foot, this foot closest to me, to move out in the direction that the nose is going. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to tip that nose in. I'm going to pick up just like I would with my bridle if I were holding on to him. And as soon as that foot starts to come this way, I'm going to release the pressure. And you see how almost right before he started to come this way, I immediately released the pressure to let him know he made a good decision. I'm going to go ahead and ask him again. I'm going to pick up on my rein here. I'm going to tip that nose in. I'm going to draw him in towards me. I'm going to hold. I'm going to keep holding until he comes this way. He's almost there. I'm going to keep holding here, and I'm going to add a little bit of pressure and make him come. There, we got really good lateral movement. That foot moved towards me. I immediately released the pressure, let him know that he made a really good choice there. So now I'm going to go over to the other side and work on that other side and see if I can get my pony to have, again, his toes follow his nose. So I'm going to pick up on the nose. And you see how I keep this hand up high and I keep the lead rope almost so I can block him from just turning that nose right into me. Because while I want that nose tipped in towards me, I don't want him to just crank that nose around and flex, because he's not going to be able to give me the lateral movement out of this inside foot that I'm looking for. So I'm going to get that nose back, tipped towards me here. I'm going to pick up with my hand and I'm going to hold until he comes over. There. He gave us a little bit of forward motion there, but he did give us some lateral motion. And we want to get more lateral motion than we do forward motion. So I'm going to see if we can refine that a little bit. I'm going to pick up. I'm going to gently draw that nose in. I'm going to hold here. He's thinking about going forward. I'm going to gently just kind of back him up here, let him know that going forward is not the correct option. So I'm going to back him up. I'm going to stick with him here. I want him to really just give me a good step back. And I don't care about where my pony ends up as long as I get good. I got back. I'm going to go right back to it. I'm going to pick up, hold, draw that nose in, and we're going to wait for that toe to follow. He's going forward. I'm going to back him up again. I'm going to keep him going back here. Let him know that was a bad decision. Pick up again. Up, he's going forward. I'm going to back him up here. And I'm going to back him up a couple times here just to let him understand that going forward isn't what I'm asking for. Okay, I'm going to reposition. I'm going to tip that nose in. I'm going to pick up. Up, he's going forward. I'm going to correct him, draw him back here. I'm going to go ahead, pick up again. I'm going to draw into me here. There, good boy. And so he gave us really good lateral movement. He didn't just press on forward. Even now, if he were to decide to go forward, I would just go ahead, back him up, put him back, let him know that we don't want forward. I want him to stand right there and focus on following the feel of the pressure laterally into me with that foot. So of course I'm going to ask him again. He's licking and chewing. He's nice and relaxed. And just to remind you, of course, this is Bentley's tougher side. He's blind in this right eye. It seems like a lot of things are a lot more difficult on this right side for him. So I'm going to take my time and stick with it with him. The other thing that's really important is, notice I started out way over there and we ended up right here. A lot of times people are so focused on making their horses perform perfectly for them that they forget what the goal is. Really, my goal is for him to give me lateral motion. So I don't care if I get it over there. I don't care if I get it right here. Once I get it, I'll take the pressure away. A big mistake would have been is if he started walking forward and then I released the pressure, I brought him back to where I started, and then I started all over again, because then I would have been rewarding him for the bad choice of walking forward when I released the pressure and repositioned. But when I stuck with him and kept moving with him and then kept on gently correcting him, saying, hey, no, let's back up. We're not going forward. Let's get that out of your mind. Let's back up. We're not going forward. Let me ask you again. Let me ask you again. And I stuck with it until he finally gave me that lateral movement. So I'm going to try one more time. We'll see if we can get a good cross where he follows his nose with that toe. So I'm going to pick up, nice big deep breath, and I'm just going to draw that inside foot in towards me here. There, very good. It wasn't much, but he drew it over and brought it this way just a touch here. For a first lesson in him learning for that toe to follow the nose, I'm pleased with that. Notice I'm not going to keep schooling him. We're going to get right into the saddle now and practice this exercise while we're mounted. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just like I normally would once I climb up on my pony. We're going to start with some flexing, and so I'm going to very quietly ask my pony to flex that nose right around for me. And he flexed that nose really nice. He did a great job there. I'm going to go ahead and flex him to the right here. There, good. Softened right in to my hand there. Nice big deep breath. Let him know that he made a really good choice by just softening and giving to me. Anytime I get on my horse, whether it's a horse that I've been riding for years and I put kids on and they're really quiet, or whether it's a fresh horse, a young colt that's just learning, I'm always going to start with flexing my pony for a couple of reasons. One, I'm able to see if they're soft. I want to make sure that I have some type of ability to influence my horse's front end if they start moving. I don't want to be driving a truck with no power steering. And then the other thing is it just gives them an opportunity to kind of stretch out those muscles throughout the neck and get them a little bit softer, a little bit more supple and comfortable. Just like before you do a workout, you might do some stretching. It's going to help our horses to relax and be more comfortable. So I like what I see. Head's nice and low. He gave real nice for me. He's almost falling asleep here. Those are all really good signs. So it's going to be a little bit different now though once I start asking those feet to move, and the expectation is when I tip that nose, I want that toe to follow in the direction where I tip the nose. So what I'm going to do is just like I was doing on the ground is I'm just going to pick up and I'm going to hold, okay? But with my offhand, I'm going to keep my horse. You see how he flexed when I picked up? With my offhand, I'm going to keep my horse there from flexing all the way around. I don't want him to flex and twerk his nose all the way around over by my knee or my boot or the stirrup. I just want that nose slightly tipped in just like that, okay? So I'm going to release there because he held it pretty good for me there. Then the other cue I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of pressure with my inside leg. And again, since I'm tipping my pony's nose to the left, my inside leg is going to be my left leg. So we're going to be going in an arc of a circle to the left. My inside leg is going to be my left leg here. Again, just a little bit of pressure right where it lays. I'm not going to slide it back or forward any. I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure right where it lays. And the idea here is when I apply this pressure and I tip that nose, I want my pony to reach out with his front left leg. I want him to reach around my leg, and that's just going to help him to kind of feel the pressure, reach around my leg, bend a little bit at his rib cage, and have that toe follow the nose. So here we go. I'm going to start just tipping that nose in. I'm going to hold with my offhand. He's trying to flex there. I'm going to hold him here. And now I'm going to add a little bit of pressure from my inside leg. I'm going to continue to hold, and I'm going to squeeze with both legs gently here until that toe kicks out laterally where that nose is. I'm going to stick with him here, and I'm just maintaining pressure. Now, since he's not moving, I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit of a kiss here. There. It wasn't much, but we got a little bit of a lateral movement with that inside leg. And that's where it starts. You always want to start with the slightest try that your horse gives you. If your horse gives you a little bit of try, let them know they did a good job. Don't just keep schooling them. Let them rest and relax, then go back to asking again. So we did a good job there. I'm going to go ahead and ask him again. I'm going to start with tipping that nose down. in. I'm gonna hold with my off hand there. I don't want him to just flex all the way around. There. I'm gonna add my inside leg here, and I'm gonna go ahead and draw out with my left hand. He's going backwards, not over. Out and over here is where I'm gonna hold my left hand, and I'm gonna continue that pressure until he steps out laterally with that front end here. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of kissing here. There, just a little bit. Wasn't much, but he kind of moved that foot over just a touch. All right, so I'm gonna go right back to it. I'm gonna start with sliding that hand down. I'm gonna tip that nose in just a touch. I'm gonna hold with my off hand to keep him from cranking that nose around. I'm gonna put my leg on him, and I'm gonna pick up with my left hand. He's not moving. I'm gonna squeeze and cluck a little bit. And he's moving around. I'm gonna stick with it until he gives me a good, there, lateral movement, again, to the left. And that was a really good deep movement. That time I'm gonna loosen up my rein, take a nice big deep breath. I like that he's licking and chewing, because I feel like he's starting to understand, okay, if I move over, he's gonna release the pressure and life's a lot easier and relaxed for me. So I'm gonna ask him again here. I'm gonna go ahead, tip that nose in. I'm gonna pull it up and out. I'm gonna add my inside leg. Oh, look at that. You see that last time, it took little to no effort. It was very, very quick. And you can see the wheels kind of turning in his head, where he's starting to understand, where he's beginning to understand what it is that I'm asking of him. So what I would do now is I'd go ahead, do the same thing, going to the right, get him nice, soft, supple, going to the right, and then we'd move on to our next exercise. But again, we don't want to school. We get a good couple steps where that nose, where that toe is following the nose and it's kicking out laterally. Go ahead and let it lay where it is. Let him know he did a good job, and then pick up on it on the next day and maybe ask for 1, 2, 3 steps where he's stepping out, stepping out, stepping out.